Good evening, everyone. I wanted to share something with you. I've noticed this recent evolution within myself that I want to share with you because I know it will be valuable for you in some way, for someone in some way. This is what I've noticed and this is because I am actively rewiring my brain. I mean, I really think I must have a completely different brain than I did a couple years ago because I have changed so much and my thought patterns and my lens has shifted so much, and it's so huge because when you shift this lens, everything in the outside world shifts for you. Now, unless you're just perfect, you don't need anything to change, then why do the work? But this is what I found is as I am doing these things that scare me, where I'm stretching myself, like I'm peeling back a new layer, right? Because we're all like these onions and we've got all these layers and the growth never stops, right? The goal just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But what I find is the more that I take imperfect action, at the beginning, it used to feel like failure when I would flub up or I would screw up or like I would trip over my words or I would knock the camera over or, something silly like that really is minimal. It's menial. Like it's in the grand scheme of things, it's not a big deal because people want to see your evolution and people want to see the real you. Like they want to know that you're not perfect because you can do a Facebook Live and you can present this like perfect image of this person, but we know that's not real. That would be a facade, right? Because we're all imperfect. We all make mistakes. Things happen. Shit happens, right? And so I really love this new layer of like worth that I'm feeling, this value that I have in myself, because now when I go do something, hello, Cecilia. When I go do something that is a stretch for me and I don't do it perfectly, I don't beat myself up. I'm like, oh, I messed up. Not a big deal because I used to allow it to define my worth as a human being. And we are not what we do, right? We are not our actions. We are not our job. We are not our role. We are love. Like we are pure light and love, and we are worthy no matter what. And so I find that the more I keep this connection open to spirit, source, God, whatever you want to call it, the more that I actively and intentionally connect and keep this channel open, the more worthy I feel and the more capable I feel and the more valued I feel no matter what I screw up. And so let me tell you what made me think of this today is last week I did so many things that stretched me. They were just new. And a stretch for me isn't necessarily a stretch for you or the other guy. It's because we're all walking our own path, right? But I stretched the hell out of myself last week and it wore me out, frankly. It wore me out. I was like tired from it. And so this week I kind of gave myself a break. But what happened earlier today is I did my podcast and come on, Monica. It was comical. First of all, Sophia was on the podcast with me, which I was really glad for because I needed her next to me at that point. I hit go and I always clean my lens. Come on, like 101, podcast 101, like clean off your lens, Facebook 101. And I didn't freaking do it just because I was nervous because I still get nervous in that space. And I was like, well, shit, I got to clean off my lens. I mean, you couldn't even hardly see me. I don't know if James had got a hold of it or what happened. But so I like grab it and I try so not etiquette, right? And I'm like cleaning the lens and then the camera turns off. So then I end up with my actual computer camera, which is terrible quality, but that's what we went with. And then I was muted at one point and then I unmuted, then I ended up muted again. I mean, it was just a fucking hot mess, but I got it together and I did not apologize. Anytime in the past, I would always apologize for it. And I just didn't apologize because people don't want you to be perfect because nobody's perfect. They want to see the real you. And so, damn it, they got to see the real me tonight. And then they heard me and they couldn't hear me and they heard me and they couldn't hear me. I was like, fudge. But it was really funny. Sophia was with me, and it was a really great podcast and a really great conversation. What did we even talk about? Oh, we talked about going with the flow. And so really it was perfect. Like, shit happens. You got to go with the flow, right? And so that's exactly what we did. We went with the flow. It's a really great podcast. I will put a link in the comments. And then I did a live question and answer about my business with a business partner of mine. And Cecilia was there. She saw it. And at the very end, the other girl lost her signal, and she was like the main person running the Q&A. Like, I was just a sidekick, right? Well, when, this is the fun of Facebook Live or Zoom Live, when you lose someone, like, you just gotta pull your bootstraps up and just take over. And I was like, I didn't even know what the hell she wants me to say. I didn't say that, but I was thinking, and I started sweating. And then I just started laughing, because laughter cuts through anything, right? And I did fine. I said, maybe 15 times too many, but it was fine. And I spoke from my heart. I tapped into my heart and just allowed it to flow, and it worked out okay. And you know what? I didn't apologize, and I'm not going to apologize, because it wasn't perfect, but it was beautiful, and it was sincere, and it was genuine. So I just want to remind you that when you start stretching yourself, it's hard. Like, it's always hard to stretch, right? But we always want to stretch. And the more you do it, you'll get into this, you'll find this evolution where when you do flub up, it doesn't hurt so bad. It just doesn't hurt so bad, and you just go with the flow. So I hope you guys have a great night. I just wanted to, there I go. Stop with the ums. I'm done saying Krista, I see you, girlfriend. I see Cecilia. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Have an awesome night. All right, I love you guys. Have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow.